Recently, I read about a horrific incident in the newspaper. A delivery boy working for a food delivery platform in a metropolitan city in India received an order from a customer. Then he went to the restaurant from which he was supposed to pick up the food item and then deliver to his customer. When he reached the restaurant, he found out that the food is still being prepared. The hotel staff told him that it's going to take a few more minutes. The delivery boy waited for some time. The order was still not ready. He was a bit angry and then he shouted at the hotel staff, and that led to an argument between him and the hotel staff. Hearing some noise, the restaurant owner stepped out and saw the delivery boy and his staff fighting. He decided to step in to pacify both of them. By then, the delivery boy was wild in anger. This boy pulled out a gun from his pocket and fired at the restaurant owner. The hotel staff immediately rushed the owner to the hospital where the doctors declared him as brought dead. How unfortunate the incident was. I read about another incident where a husband and a wife had a fight that intensified into a heated argument. In a few minutes, in the heat of the moment, the husband picked up an iron rod and thrashed his wife with the rod. The wife was severely injured and taken to the hospital where she died. How barbaric. And across the globe, every day we keep hearing about cases of road rage. In the United States, about 12,600 injuries can be attributed to driver violence. What is all this? What's going on? The instances that I narrated to the best of my knowledge and memory speak volume of intolerance. We live in a society where intolerance is on the rise. Irrespective of age, gender, social background, etc., people are becoming increasingly intolerant. What is the cause of this problem? Well, there are various factors. With the rise in nucleus families, we have stopped teaching our children how to coexist. In nucleus families, children grow up to draw boundaries for themselves. My house, my room, my bed, my pen, my toy. And they never learn to share, care, adjust, adapt, tolerate, coexist. They grow up to become self-centric human beings. Self-centricity, obsessed ego, can be a primary cause of intolerance. Explaining the root cause of anger and violence, Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra says, obsessed ego brings forth addiction. Addiction breeds selfish interest. Selfish interest gives birth to passion. Passion is the source of anger, and anger begets violence. So if you try to understand the root cause of anger or violence, it is primarily obsessed ego, addiction, and selfish interest. When we become selfish, self-centered, we do not tolerate anyone or anything that steps into our space, our boundaries. Our interest becomes primary to us. So we become intolerant of anything or anyone which is in any way impacting our own interest. So what is the solution? Let's go back to the example of nucleus families, which we talked about. Because of the socio-economic developments in the world, nucleus families are a new reality, which we cannot avoid. But in our nucleus families, us parents must teach our children how to share, how to care, how to tolerate, how to love, how to empathize. But unfortunately, we teach our children to become better than others, to achieve more than others, to excel more than others. We must teach our children how to accept others as they are, accept others' limitations, mistakes. We should be against the fault, but not the doer of the fault. We must try to find out why did that person make that mistake. If there is an injury in my finger, do I cut my finger? No. I try to treat the injury in the finger so that it can heal. Similarly, in our families, in our societies, at the workplace, if there are people who are not perfect, who make mistakes, which sometimes impact us, we should try to help them overcome those mistakes. That's how we become more tolerant because we don't look at our injured finger as separate from us. We see it as a part of our entity. That wisdom is real wisdom. Thakur Kulchandra says, in wisdom, there is the sensing of self in the creation. A truly wise individual has a sense of self in the whole creation.